record, whatever. There you go. Okay, so thank you all for coming. And as I said earlier, this might be my first and last Zoom meeting with you guys, because we're expecting the new chancellor to be here on March 1st, which is the first Wednesday of next month. So hopefully she will meet with us on that first day, even to just say hello. And I think that would be something good. Okay, so let's start with all the announcement. There's a lot of things going on campus. So the first one is the Student Success Institute. Kabehi, are you here?
Maria, this is Yoshing. I don't think Kabehi planning to be here, but I can give everyone a quick update. So HSSI and it's scheduled for March 3rd, Friday, and please mark your calendar because it's a non-instructional day, and I will put the registration link in the chat right now. So the registration is open and will close till February 15th. So if you are interested or planning to attend, and please don't forget to register yourself. And Kabehi put together some announcements, and you can learn more about the event, and we'll pushing more announcement as we get more information confirmed, such as the program schedule and call for volunteers later on. So any questions, please send to me or Kabehi, and we'll be happy to answer or forward to the planning committee for the co-chairs to answer from the UHCC system level. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Eugene? Okay, one question that I received about this is the campus going to be closed? No, we don't close the campus. There's going to be a skeletal crew on campus. So all offices should be closed because students can come in, you know, they need things. We have to be able to give them that service. So for all of the offices, especially the front face offices where students come in, please have somebody there to answer their questions or their requests, or any help that they need. Also, admin offices will be open. Again, it's going to be a skeletal crew in all of the offices. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so the next thing that we have is the assessment coordinator. I know that Louisa shared the institutional assessment plan to the CAC before she left. And I think I also sent it to the AAC. So you should have received this. It is a working plan, so it's not like final. All the suggestions of it incorporated some of the suggestions of the AGOs, the ELT, the task, that thing that we had before. What was that? A campus. We met as a campus before to talk about assessment and the needs. So anyway, the assessment. So the assessment plan is a working plan. So it's not like set in stone that nothing can be changed. What we need to do now is to have an assessment coordinator. We lost our assessment coordinator when Dawn Westover left, and that has been like what, more than 2-3 years already. So we've not had any assessment coordinator. We've not been successful in hiring an outside person to be our assessment coordinator. Reason behind that, I guess, is because they don't really know the campus. So I think for this time, what we want to do is to have an assessment coordinator coming from the campus itself. So I will be sending out something soon for people to apply to be the assessment coordinator. And on that assessment plan, the applications are going to be reviewed by the AGOs, and their choice or whoever they think would be best fit for the job is going to be sent to the chancellor as their recommendation for who the assessment coordinator is going to be. Some questions I got was like, is this going to be 9-month faculty or an 11-month person? I mean, those things we'll have to talk about because of the nature of the job. I think it should be an 11-monther, but we don't. I really do not know how the plan is going to work out as it is, right? So, because the coordinator can make changes, talk to people and things like that, have her coaches working with her, and maybe they can think of another, a better way of doing things. But at least we have somebody who's now leading the campus on assessment. So that is going to be coming out soon for the call to apply to be an assessment coordinator for the campus. Any questions on that?
Maria, I think Angela's questions in the chat.
Oh, sorry. It is going to be a reassignment, Angela.
Okay, so we would potentially be losing a position somewhere else then.
Yeah. Like for example, if it's a faculty, then the faculty will be a non-teaching faculty until, because it's for 5 years, right? According to the plan.
Okay, thank you.
So that's, I mean, that's how the plan was that's how we have it in the plan. And so for at least 5 years now, again, that is renewable. The person wants to stay as the assessment coordinator, then it's going to be a bit longer than 5 years. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so the next thing is, Carol, would you like to talk about the Good Jobs Hawaii kickoff?
Okay, hello, everybody. I'm going to talk about two things today, the Good Jobs Hawaii, and then I'll make an announcement about the webinar. On Monday, you may have seen a lot of press coming out about Good Jobs Hawaii. Good Jobs Hawaii is actually a new brand for what was formerly Hana Career Pathways and Oahu Back to Work. And then there's another grant, Good Jobs Challenge. Those three grants combined equal $35 million that are available through the community colleges to do training to put people into pathways to jobs. The fields that we're looking at are IT, health, skilled trades. They have expanded to clean energy, creative media, and then there's also a component under one of those grants for education. The hope is to train about 3,000 local residents to skill them up or to get them into pathways to be able to ultimately get good jobs. Formerly, we did train people under Hana Career Pathways already, and Oahu Back to Work 1 and 2, we trained 4,000 people. These Good Jobs Hawaii actually is bringing in 70 businesses that are committed to working with us to try to get people placed into jobs. And then there are also other collaborators who are providing support services such as the Chamber of Commerce, Healthcare Association, the Hawaii State Energy Office, and DBED. So this is a pretty massive project. And in addition to expanding the different fields that the participants can study in, we've also expanded the program, not just for continuing ed students, but credit programs that are of 1 year in length or less can also apply for funding. The funding covers such things as tuition and fees, and then other items such as materials, supplies, equipment, and so forth. Tuition and fees is paid by the major grants that are held at the UHCC office. And then at our campus, ultimately, we'll have 3 sub-accounts over which I'll be the PI, and we'll be able to pay for such things as the materials and uniforms and so forth. For the campus, we have been working on an internal process for applying for these funds. So rather than applying directly to the UHCCs, we have a process now that is drafted where, just to put it very simply, you would apply with your program coordinator, then it goes up to your department chair and to the respective program dean and myself. After those are reviewed and approved, and they must have budgets with it, then we will send that forward to the community colleges to hopefully get some funding for what you're asking for. So that's it in a nutshell about Good Jobs Hawaii. If anybody wants to find out more, you're welcome to give me a call. Okay, the webinar I wanted to announce is one that's coming up on Thursday, February 9th. And that is part of a 4-part series about resiliency. And this one, number 3, is about sheltering in place. The guest speaker is Francis Cow, who is with the State of Hawaii Department of Defense, Hawaii Emergency Management. And this will be facilitated by Dr. Bob Franco and Miko Clementine. And if you want to know more about that workshop, you can just contact KCC OSAT at hawaii.edu. That's it, Maria.
Okay, do you have any questions for Carol? Okay, so if not, okay, the next item on our list is the 2nd annual I Art Love Kapilani. Is that Sheldon?
Yeah, it's real fast. So last year, before the semester started, we had a campus-wide, community-wide event, the I Love KCC. So it was pretty good. So we're going to bring it back again. So if you could mark your calendars, August 17th, Thursday, it's going to follow FYE's Ho'opili. And so for those who participated last year, if you're interested in staffing a tent again, please let me know. Libraries already on board, which is always wonderful. As for DJs, what's really cool is KTOH is going to be spinning our music. Since we lost our resident DJ, DJ Louise Pagoto, we brought in KTOH to spin for us. So that's going to be pretty neat. So we're still working out the logistics. But again, if you wanted to have a tent on the Makahia pole, please let me know. But again, August 17th, Thursday, 3 to 7. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Sheldon. Okay, okay, so the next one is about the LMS review. Who is in this one?
Hey.
Jamie, yes.
Yeah, so most of the info's there, and I'll put a link in the chat. Basically, if you use Laulima or our learning management system, please get involved in this. We're looking at 3 vendors, and they're going to make a decision this semester. It's not guaranteed that we're going to switch LMSs, but there are a lot of signs kind of pointing to the fact that we're really serious about going another direction. In terms of the market share, Sakai, which is our learning management system that we call Laulima, it's only 1% of the market share. So we're really kind of the last ones kind of hanging on to this learning management system. So I know there's a lot of strong opinions out there, and I really encourage you to check out the link that I shared. There are recordings and notes from the vendor sessions. We're looking at Blackboard, Brightspace, and Canvas and Canva. And that's this Friday is the last vendor presentation. There's 3 levels that you can get involved in. So if you don't have a lot of time, Eventually they will, after the last session, put a consider.it forum on the website. So you can just log in and weigh in asynchronously. If you have time, go to a 1-hour town hall. There's a bunch of them that are scheduled and you only need to go to one. They're all redundant to get feedback from the community. And if you really want to get into one of the vendor sandboxes or even all three and kind of play around with the LMS in question, you can sign up, but you have to do so by Friday. Again, all the information is in the link in that announcement that I shared. You do have to commit to filling out an evaluation rubric, but it'll allow you to actually get into the LMS that you want to look at, or even all three if you want, and kind of play around with it and put in some dummy content and see how it works for you. So get involved and let Susan Jarowski or myself know if you have any questions or kind of concerns that you want us to voice for you. Thanks.
You guys have any questions for Jamie? That's gonna be a big change, Jamie.
It is.
Which
Since you said that, because I know some people, they've put so much time
I know.
into learning
Yes.
LaLima and like holding it together in the back end with like Scotch tape and boogers. And like, I know everyone has invested a lot in trying to make LaLima what you need it to be. And I know some people are really hesitant to move because they're like, you're kidding me, right? Like it's so much. I can tell you that if we move to another vendor, first of all, there will be a way for you to move your content easily from LaLima to the new platform. We're not just going to say, well, good luck, start over. You know, there will be a migration process. There will be lots of training. And I can say that the learning curve and the amount of finagling and learning you have to do will be nothing like you've invested in LaLima. So yes, there'll be some more things to learn, but it will be much more intuitive and you'll have lots of support. So thanks.
Okay, I've heard that complaint. You know, I've heard that comment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fair. People
Moving
have
it.
worked very hard with LaLima. So I get it.
I know. Okay, so faculty, voice out your concerns and you know, try it. If you can, you know, it's before complaining, try it first, I guess. That's a way to go. Okay, thank you, Jamie.
Thanks.
Okay, okay, this is an announcement. We will have a coffee hour for the interim VCSA, which is Michaelin, on Monday, February 6th from 10 to 11. And if you want to attend, please just go there. Everybody's invited. Bring whatever food you want to bring and something else. But anyway, it's February. The whole month of January, we've been saying goodbye and hello to people. And Novaya and I were kidding just the other day. What will we remember about the month of January? It's the month where we had a lot of coffee hours going on. For people coming in, people going. And then here we're in February, we still have some going. And then maybe in March, when the new chancellor comes, we'll have another one. So maybe we'll have somebody else too for the VCAS when he comes in. So, you know, it never ends. But anyway, so please come. That would be on Monday at 10 o'clock in Kamokila Center, first floor, Ilyahi building. Okay, now another thing that I think you guys are very interested in knowing is the food on campus. We're working on it. John has taken it on, and I'm sorry he could not be here to talk about it more, but he will be at the CAC to talk about it. He's looking at different things, and he's working with Michaelin if maybe the students can be involved in this one too. So we'll see where that conversation goes, but what we're working on it. Okay, we hear you. Right now, I can say we have food on campus because 220 Grill is open. Kaikena, I think, is also open. So there's food on campus for now, but we will have something on campus when those two entities will close because they are they're only open because of the classes that they're taking, right? It's for the culinary students. So we're working on it, and we'll have more information to share with you maybe at the CAC this month. Okay, the next one is Michaelin is going to talk about the Board of Students changes, and what was that, the other one? Advisor. Okay, Michaelin.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you everyone for your warm welcome into my transition into this position. It's been a fun 2 weeks. So really quickly, there's just a couple of changes. So we just wanted to announce that for the Board of Student Publications, we have a new advisor, David Uedoy. So he will be the publications advisor. And also actually very new information from yesterday. Our student Congress president, our current one, Shauna Takaki, will be stepping down. And so actually 1:30 today, yep, in a few minutes, they're having a Congress meeting and they're going to be voting a new president in. So just look out for announcements from myself or Shannon on that. So thank you very much.
You guys have any questions? Okay. So now, Brian, your turn.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I mean, I think Maria let the cat out of the bag already, but for those of you that may not already know, I am departing campus. I resigned a couple weeks ago and will actually be leaving tomorrow. So tomorrow is my last day. And it's really funny because a lot of you guys don't have your video on and you have smiling faces and it's like, yeah, finally. but I know it's, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna assume that you all are wishing me good luck and whatnot with the smiley faces. We have a name for an individual who's going to be stepping into or sitting in my chair. He comes with a lot of experience at the system. And a lot less campus experience, but he has been on a campus for the last year. Many of you have actually worked with him or have been in meetings with him, but his name is Lance Yamamoto. He is the permanent budget director for the CCs, but is the now interim or acting chancellor for Windward Community, vice chancellor of admin services for Windward Community College. So he'll be stepping in here. He knows a lot about our issues just via osmosis, sitting in our meetings every month or every week. You know, we were meeting every week during the pandemic, and sometimes more than that. So, you know, he knows a lot of the issues, and, you know, he knows a little bit about the campus's budget, and where we are weak in terms of our budget, and where we are very strong in terms of our budget. He knows a little bit less about our facilities and about some of the other issues. So I'm going to ask all of you folks, as well as my own staff, to please, you know, break him in gently. Unfortunately, he's going to be stuck wearing 2 hats for the initial part because he's not fully confirmed yet or approved by the board. So he'll still be at Windward and pulling that sled. And then, you know, over here, and I don't know what the hours or what days he'll be here and what days he'll be there. But it's going to be a lot of gas. That's the only thing I can say. But hey, thanks everyone. I have really appreciated the not hundreds. Let's be real, not too many people like me. So let's say the dozens of emails that I've gotten from all of you folks, and for those of you who attended, you know, my going away party yesterday. It was honestly an extremely wonderful party, and I very much appreciated all of you attending. I enjoyed my time here, and look, I'm telling him with a straight face. No, I did. I enjoyed my time here, and I only wish the best for this campus and most of you. I really want to see everyone succeed, and I want to see this campus get back to the top again. So with that, adios, aloha, and mahalo for all of your help over the last 10 years. 10 years. And no more hair now. I'm all gray, plenty more wrinkles. So
Okay, do you have, I said, any questions for Brian? Well, we can always just say, Brian, thank you so much for everything that you did for this campus. I will say my personal thank you to you before you leave tomorrow. But yes, thank you so much for everything that you've done. I've always told him that among the VCs, he's got the hardest job. I mean, academic affairs, yes, it's big, but we all do one thing. We just teach and we work with the students and things like that. We work with the counselors. VCSA, yes, the students, faculty, counselors. But Brian, you've got security, you've got aux services, you've got business office, you've got HR. I mean, it's all different things for one person to do. And when something happens to the campus late at night, what do? You come to the campus, even if it's at 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's like the hardest job that I can ever think of. And I'm not gonna be an interim for that position at all. I'm telling you that.
You got enough hats. Thanks, Maria. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you
And
so
thank you,
much.
all of you.
Okay. Okay, my updates. Okay, I wrote it down on the agenda. If you go, you can see it. We now have a new director for workforce innovation. That's Dan Doerger. He was with P12, I think, for a while, and then he left. P20, sorry. And then he left the state for a while, and then he came back. He's actually helping us. Well, I should not say this. Anyway, yes. I've asked for his help already, being that he's new. Okay, now the other things that are concerning us are the legislative issues that were brought up. They were asking us about hub and spoke. How are we implementing that? How are we? I think what they want to do is to see how effective or efficient the community colleges are in offering all of the things that we're offering for the state. So they are interested in the hub and spoke. I think they're willing to give us money for that. But the problem now is we don't have a definition for hub and spoke that is consistent for all the campuses. So I met with the chancellors, and this was one of the meetings. We were trying to, and we came up with different scenarios that are happening right now. But then they're also going to be talking to the CTE deans on February 9th as to how their vision is for a hub and spoke initiative for the community colleges. So right now it's still in a lot of discussion, like what is the goal, how do we implement, and all of those things. We cannot even talk about that because we don't have a definition of what we're trying to do. Was that?
I had a question, Maria. Sorry,
Oh,
I
yes.
raised my hand, so
Oh,
maybe you
sorry,
heard
I didn't see that.
something. I don't know.
Okay.
But when we're talking, and maybe this is still part of the definition, but for hub and spoke, does that mean we don't even know right now if it's going to affect the academic kind of side, student affairs side, support services? Like we're just really unsure, or do we have an idea of the areas, or not yet? That's
Well,
coming later.
Right now it's just the academic side of it that we're looking at, right? Like for example, we have a good example of hub and spoke that we have on this campus, the EMS program. The EMT program, I'm sorry. We are the hub, and then we have spokes in the different islands. So that's an example of a hub and spoke. But at least that's just one program that's already being set here. We also have some health programs that they were looking into that might be a good fit for something like that. But for example, the IT program. A lot of the campuses already have an IT program. So how are they going to do it? Is it gonna be one campus would just concentrate on one concentration? Or, you know, like all of those little things are still being discussed. So there's a lot of version on Hub and Spoke, but we don't really know how we are gonna define it for our community college. Okay. Another thing that was also mentioned was the micro-credentials. They were asking us if we are been awarding micro-credentials. Again, another thing about this is we don't have a definition. How many credits is a micro-credential? You know, like I know that Carol has been, OSET has been awarding things, but is that what the system is going to take as micro-credentials? They even went into looking at programs that are like 1 semester long. Is that a micro-credential? So I said, that's a certificate of completion already. It's not, you know, it's not a micro thing. They have several courses to fulfill. But so the question now is, then how many courses is a micro-credential? You know, so all of these things are still being discussed, and there's going to be a lot of discussion, I think, going on forward with these ones, just to get the system to be working together and more consistent in our offerings. Carol, yes, sorry.
Yes, Maria, I'm going to put a standard definition in the chat for micro-credentials. But just to let everyone know about what Continuing Ed has been doing here is we've been offering for workforce development training where people who complete the program receive a certificate as well as a digital badge. So the micro-credential does not replace the certificate. They get a supplemental digital badge. The digital badge is something that you can put on your resume or your portfolio. The employer can click on it, and then they can see all of the things that you studied. As for certificates and degrees in credit programs, they can be stackable. So they could be laddered and then lead to a certificate or a degree, but the components can be micro.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Because right now we have the CO, and then you have the CA, and then you have the AS. Are those the stackable things? You know, so there's a lot of conversation going on around that topic. Another thing that they questioned for us is our telework numbers. How many of our employees are still doing telework? I think some campuses have nobody doing telework anymore. Our campus still has some people doing telework. And so I think we should all come back to campus and stop this telework thing, but it's still something that it's an option. I mean, if the system would just say, stop it already, then I think that would force everybody to just come back to campus. But I think supervisors should start talking to their folks about, you know, stopping this telework and have everybody here on campus. So that's something that we should be working on. Another update I'd like to tell you is that Achieving the Dream. The numbers apparently for our Native Hawaiian students has decreased for all the CCs. So there is this project now, which is the Native Hawaiian Data Numbers Project that is being led by the system, and it's connected to Achieving the Dream. Our two reps are Joe Yoshida and Michaelin. Michaelin is our Native Hawaiian Student Success Coordinator and now our PCSA, so she knows a lot. I mean, she can contribute a lot on this one in the discussion. And on the agenda, I gave you all the deliverables for this. They only met once. So we will be hearing updates from Michaelin and Joe about where this project is going as they keep on talking about it. Michaelin just told us that there's going to be a lot of data that they're going to be looking into and to come up with the deliverables that they have for this task force. It's a 1 year, I think it's a 1 year commitment. Any questions on that?
I had a question,
Yes.
but rewind a little bit. I'm so sorry I missed it.
Uh-huh.
The concerns about telework, is that coming from legislature?
Not really. It came from the system level, because they started asking us because they were afraid that the legislature was going to ask us, right? Because the thing is, I mean, one of the things that I think is a concern is, why do we need facilities if people are not on campus? So,
Angela, sorry, Maria, but to be
Yeah,
clear,
go.
the university, we're going through, obviously, the budget hearings are POW. So they're kind of entering into bill hearings and other departmental issues specific to the departments. And one of the issues that was brought up to DHERD was, hey, how many people throughout the state are working, doing telework? And so it was partly to accommodate or to help DHERD get that answer, but also in preparation, like Maria said, of, exactly what she said. You guys, everybody's working from home. Why do people need offices? If people are working from home and you have all these classes online, do you need this much space? Do you really need to fix X building up or Y building up? So it leads to a lot of different issues, and that's why it came up. And you know what? It's going to come up again. It's never, in many ways, it's never going to be resolved. You're probably going to have the same questions next session as well.
Okay, I just asked because there is a kind of a national trend towards telework, but there's also a national trend towards budget cuts and letting people go. So I'm going to put something here in the chat for folks to take a look at too. Thank you.
Okay. Navar?
Maria, can I rewind a little bit further back? Sorry, questions just come very slow for me. When you was talking about the micro credentials, how much on the credit side so I'm watching enrollment and how it is going down. In the event we have a faculty who cannot fulfill their 27 TEs, how can can we allow them to create a credential on the continuing ed side that would meet the needs of the community? Because I know at one time, if they were hired on the academic side, they cannot go and teach on the continuing ed side. But I remember like way back in the 90s, you actually had people who was teaching on the continuing ed side and on the credit side. But I was just wondering, I'm hopeful that enrollment will go up, but if it continues to go down, the last resort is that we retrench faculty, but I'm sure there's a lot of need out there from businesses. And how can I possibly use a credit side faculty and create possible credentials for the community or for the hospitality business or something? Just trying to think outside of the box.
I think in the past, we were told that we cannot do that, right? But I think now, because of the merging of the credit and the non-credit, initiatives, I think it's something that should be, it's okay to do it. And I think, I think it should be okay as long as we can assign, or talk about they did this non-instructional, but they did it using teaching on the non-credit side. Something like that to justify why they're not doing their 27. Carol, yes?
I think there's a couple of ways that I believe it can be done. One is probably more popular with faculty is to receive overload. But also the other way is if there's not enough to teach on the credit side, then you would have them teach a continuing ed course or so, and it would be in load. So it would be part of their regular load.
Got it. Okie thank you.
Okay. Okay, now we have Kara. Can you give us an update? Strategic plan.
I can, and just, oh yeah, Carol, do you still have a
Okay, I
question
will.
or? No, okay. Okay, so I just, thanks. Before I jump into strategic plan, I have 2 links. So one is looking at those enrollments, so you can see, get more of a trend of what's going on with our enrollments for spring 2023. I'm still updating it every day. And yes, I mean, we are still seeing that, you know, students drop off, of course, as classes continue. And then a great resource, I think, is the Node. So this is wonderful. It's for institutional research and institutional effectiveness, but it's magic. You can find so much more. So this month, or excuse me, it's a weekly kind of curation. And this week alone, they have things on accreditation. You can do a search. I did a search for student success as well as basic needs, and I got like 20 articles for each, and it's all kind of content created for us. So when we start talking about things like our declining enrollments, maybe what we have to do is look and see best practices and where we've seen jumps in other places. So I'm going to do a shout out to Wisconsin, where I'm from, because their community college system had a double-digit decline, and now they had a 10% increase. And that is increased childcare, online offerings, and partnering with businesses in the community to help grow that. And some talk about micro-credentials as well. And I think that does tie in a bit to our strategic plan. So definitely take a look at the Node, and I hope you find it as useful and enlightening as I do. And thank you. I see some folks clicking on it. That makes me happy. And any questions so far before I actually begin the main show? Okay, I don't see anything. Okay. So this is based on the slideshow. Some of this you've seen already at Convocation, which was already a month ago. I can't believe we're in February. So I'm just going to give you a few updates. So with Vice Chancellor Keo Puhiva going to Kauai, we now have Vice Chancellor Nakawa Hall filling in. So thank you, Michael Lynn, for stepping up. So really, we're making sure that everything we're doing in that strategic plan is grounded in Kuleana to Native Hawaiians and Hawaii. So really, that's going to have a big effect in February, and you'll see why here in a moment. So January's done. We're still not quite here yet. We're not quite at our overarching goals, but hey, we are a lot closer than we were a month ago, I think. So I'm happy. And I'll kind of break it down by direction here in just a moment. So February is really where we're going to have the Kuleana working group look at what we've come up with for our goals and strategies and make sure that it really is grounded in the people, the place, and the culture of Hawaii. And then we're going to get campus input, and I love, so Dean Hoshiko mentioned, I think in a different meeting when we were talking about the mission statement about the need for community feedback. So I think there's also opportunity for us to share this beyond our campus and really see if we're aligned with our community as well in what we say we want to do over the next 6 years. Then we'll finalize this plan in April, just making any kind of edits based on that feedback in March. Also, at the same time, the UH community colleges will also be finalizing its plan. And then finally, like a convocation, let's have a party, let's celebrate in May after CAC votes for approval. But I think just to reiterate, we really want the bones, the meat, if you will, or the tofu of it to be in place before we have Chancellor Misaki come in, because we want to give her that framework, and we also want to ensure that what the collective needs for goals is already in place. So kind of, okay. So I'm gonna just give you an update on the mission. So where is the mission? I was so bummed because I was at Board of Regents last month and I waited and it didn't pop up. So I hope, Maria, do you have an update on where that is or what happened or what we can do to make sure we get it in for February, which is like what, next week, I think, or the week after?
Okay, here's what I was told.
Okay,
I was told that we did not have to get approval from the Board of Regents as a CC. However,
Oh.
in AACJC, it says it has to be approved by the highest board. So I sent that back. I sent it back to the CC office and said, hey, this is what ACCJC is telling us. So it should be approved by the board. So I think they took it out because they thought that it was not supposed to be going up that high for approval. But now I think they're putting it in for February. I hope they did. I'll have to find out. But I'm telling them that, hey, it's coming not from us, it's from the accreditation body.
yes, and we've been working on updating the mission policy, and in there, when we look at the system-wide document, I'll double check, but it might even have, in that document, it might even have language around that mission approval. So we'll get back to you and see if there's further kind of evidence of why we need this approved by Board of Regents. So we'll be in touch. I did put the mission in here so you all can see it again, and this has been shared to you via the agenda, so you can take time to really look at that and think about, okay, thinking about personal, educational, career goals, the global community, right, that we said on promoting excellence, innovation, diversity, and then really tying it back to Queen Kapiolani and her values and culture, okay? So that's all here. So it's exciting and we're ready to move forward on it. I do see your question too, Navas. I'll get to that before I head out. But okay, so these are the updates. So I just sent this out to everybody like less than an hour before we were meeting. So I'm not expecting all of this to be filled out. But I think there's so much talk about micro-credentials that there is really some possibility there. So I don't know. So Navas asking too in the chat. So do we have kind of a shared repository? I can get that. I can get that created, but I don't know. So it's up to you all. If you need help with me kind of looking at the themes that you've all gathered and to kind of come up with a framework, and I'll show you an example of what I did for one group in that way. Or if, for example, for the workforce, Carol, have you and John kind of established what you want, or do you need some more refining from me before you bring it back to your group?
Actually, we're pretty far along.
Okay.
So we should be able to give something to you. I thought we were going to vet it one more time with the group, but I think there's enough there that if you need that information, we can give it to you.
Yeah, maybe we'll at least get it on, like, I think that's a great idea that Navata had here. So we'll at least get it in a shared space. And then if you all need to keep refining, we can do that simultaneously with the different groups. I know it's kind of messy, but that's the way we're doing it. That's part of being participatory. So we're going to keep going with it. So thank you for that update. So they're in good shape. I've been more involved with the student success, so that's why I know a little bit more what's going on, but we met January 19th. Yep, you can see, sorry, Brian, I knew ahead of time, so we now have support from Deans Richards and Napoleon to help Maria with it, carry this through, to help our interim chancellor. So we are meeting tomorrow, and I haven't gone through yet, okay, but I will be going through and getting the themes and some kind of structure before we meet at 11, I think, tomorrow. Okay.
On that note, wait, Kara, on that note, everybody's invited to come to that meeting.
Yes, and it's on our calendar. We have a strategic planning calendar, and I put it on there so I can share that link out or put it in the agenda for today. It's 11, right? I think.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Great. So work up an appetite. Talk student success. Okay. Then I emailed Faculty Senate Chair Rich Halverson on January 24th, and I kind of did a kind of a development of what to really work on this final direction of strengthening environments for working, teaching, and learning. And then I gave sample goals and strategies, and trying to also tie in our Kuleana to Native Hawaiians and Hawaii along the way, but I haven't heard. So Rich, if you want to give an update on that.
Thank you for sending that. I'm still working on it. I've been very busy doing a couple of other things, but thank you very much.
Sure. Okay, you got it. Just let me know how I can step in or step off, whatever you all need. And I think that's it for me. You have access to everything. If you have questions, I'm here.
Any questions on the strategic plan?
No, but I just threw in into the chat, yeah, Kara, that it is a standard. So for ACCJC, it's a requirement that the mission statement is widely published and approved by the governing board.
Thank you for that, Susan. It's good that we can back all of that up and say, no, this is why we're asking for it. So thank you.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I just posted the link for the student success meeting tomorrow. Everybody, please attend if you can. I think the plan to tomorrow is to have the non-credit group put in their ideas on what student success means for the non-credit side. So it's not just the credit side that we're going to be looking into, but with the non-credit side as well. Okay. Okay, I guess that's it for my updates. Campus questions. What is the timeline for hiring the new permanent VCSA, VCAA, VCAS? All the VCs are gone, right? Okay, VCAA, it has been posted, has been closed. Hiring committee has been formed. I think they just got their, they had their training, they're formulating the questions. So hopefully by May, we will have our new VCAA in place. VCSA, we are going to be posting this February, okay, this month. So hopefully we will have the person in place by the beginning of the next academic year. That would be about July or August. VCAS, this we have not gotten the approval yet. I do not know what the system plans to do for Lance. Will he be the interim for until when? Because he's got another job too. So I do not know what the plans are for this one. I have to check with the system on the timeline for us, and I'll have to put in the request to hire for this one too, if we need to. Okay, the next question. You guys have any questions on that? So when the VCSA recruitment happens, we're going to be again asking for volunteers to be part of the search committee. There's so many search committees right now that are going on. Secretaries, a dean, VCAA, they're all over. Okay, what's this? Parking alternatives for campus tours. Brian, you know the answer to this?
What are you reading off of?
The meeting, the agenda.
Oh, our agenda. Okay, sorry, I don't have it open. Can you read it?
Okay, parking alternatives for campus tours. Prospective students and their families and other visitors
Why do you need
who do not have a parking pass.
I would simply just have them park in the campus lot.
The students,
Yeah,
the ones that does not have, the ones who do not need a permit. I mean, no.
yeah,
the
I
one-
would have visitors. If they're official visitors and they're coming for a campus tour or something like that, just have them park in the campus. You don't need alternative parking.
So they're not gonna get ticketed?
They shouldn't, no. I mean, I'll be very quite honest with you. I will be quite honest with you and tell you that right now we have an extreme shortage of security officers. So their last concern at this point in time is actually go out and give tickets in the lots. When we get to that point where we're back up to speed and we have our lots being used, you know, you're going to move to a different phase, obviously, of this post-pandemic recovery. But you know, new rules can be you know, put in place. Right now, the rule of everyone needing a permit was put in place because in 2020, in fall 2020, we were all supposed to move to a fee, a parking fee, right? That was abandoned, obviously, when nobody was coming to campus. It was the middle of a pandemic. 2021 rolled around. It was like, well, we're still in this situation. And then 2022 rolled in and we're like, well, we still can't attract people to the campus. You know, I've said this before, and then I'll repeat it again. Board of Regents policy dictates that we are supposed to be charging a fee for parking. We have chosen not to abide by that policy simply for the reason that we need to attract people here. And, you know, we felt that it was a little bit of a detractor. The fact that we are short in security personnel and other, you know, parking monitor type individuals is obviously another reason, but that's a lesser reason than the fact that we just need to get people here. You know, Maria had mentioned earlier about the Board of Regents concerns about people still working. I mean, I shouldn't say Board of Regents. It's not even the Board of Regents. Sorry, I misspoke. It's more the legislature and it's the public, right? The public is okay with them working from home, but they're not okay with a state worker working from home. That's the reality of the situation. And so these questions come up and they're asking themselves, are we in fact, as the University of Hawaii campus, making highest and best use of our facilities? And when people drive by in the afternoon or in the middle of the morning, it's pretty obvious we don't have a lot of people here on campus, right? So, so Sheldon, if you guys got people coming here, tell them to park.
Okay, because we got a couple counselors from Roosevelt visiting soon, and they were told to be issued parking passes. And so it's like running back and forth, getting the pass, putting on the car, and going back.
Okay, so in those situations, if you have an assigned event or things like that, please work with you know, my office, Shelly, and she can issue you folks electronically. She can issue you folks single day parking passes, right? In which they can be, you know, emailed or what ahead of time. You know, that's how that is supposed to work. I thought you were talking about mom and dad are here on vacation with a potential student.
Well, there's that too. I mean, so it's like a combination of all these outside folks coming on for half the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when those counselors are going to be here for longer, I certainly would try to make an attempt to get parking passes. And again, you would do that, you know, with my office through Shelly. But if it's a student and parents coming here just to go to the bookstore, we have quite a few people who want to come to the bookstore and get, you know, just like when you go to Harvard and you're in Boston, you buy a Harvard sweatshirt, they'll come here and try to buy a KCC sweatshirt or a UH sweatshirt. And so there's a lot of folks who come up, and if they're only going to be here for, I mean, obviously less than an hour, there's no reason for them to have to, you know, park in an alternative location or you know, what have you.
Does that answer your question, Sheldon?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then the last one is just save the date. Angela, is this you or is this Lavashay? Who put this in?
Yes, it's from Lavashay regarding our, yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, just to save the date, February 24th for our first Ohana food distribution. We need about 45 volunteers. So if you could help support and also get the word out to your students. Thank you.
Maria,
Yes.
so just in case I didn't invite you folks, we have a meeting at 2:00 to talk about courses or classes for international students for next semester. Oh, for fall. And we're just trying to at least focus our efforts on certain classes. And I looped in majority of the counselors, but in the event I didn't loop you in, I just threw in the Zoom meet in the chat. So you're more than welcome to join us. I know Sean and Joe's going to be there today as well. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Nava. Okay, are there any questions from the campus? Any other concerns? Going once. Okay, if there's no other questions or no
Can
other
I-
concerns,
Can I take a screenshot to say goodbye to Brian?
sure. Everybody turn on your
Alright.
camera.
That's a direction from the chancellor there. Okay, let me see if I can get everybody in here. Full screen. Okay.
Wait, fixing my hair.
Okay, I have to do it more than once. Thank you, Navaa. Okay. I don't know if you're on my screen 1 or 2 or 3, so I'm gonna do it multiple times. Okay, hold on, let me get this part ready.
Brian, why are you frozen?
I'm not frozen. I'm
Oh,
just smiling.
You're smiling, okay.
Okay, 1,
Okay.
2, 3. Okay, paste. And then let me go to screen 2. I don't know which screen y'all are on. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Thank you, everybody. I'll send it.
Thanks, Ange.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Bye,
so-
Brian.
everybody.
Thanks,
Oh,
Brian.
yo, thank you,
Bye,
Thanks, everyone.
Brian.
Bye. Thanks,
you.
Brian.
Thank you all. Be well. Stay safe.
Thank
Too.
you.
Yeah.
You too.
You.